Yeah. Cool. Okay. I'm Melissa.
I'm Nicole.
And this is Twin Skeletons podcast lucky number 13.
Yep. You bet.
Yep, that's it.
Yep. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, but no, it's cool. 13. Good number. It's... When was... I can't remember when we had, Twin Skeletons Radio 13.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. We went over 100. We had a 113. Did we really? We had 113? Yeah. So, we're 100 away from having...
Oh, no.
No, not really. But anyway.
What do you got? Minnie planned a lot of the news today.
I did.
Looks like you got more.
Because there was a lot of news. There was a weird amount of news that I felt like talking about.
Okay.
And I was super on it this week whenever I saw something, that interests me on Facebook, because this is usually what I do for our Facebook page. Mm-hmm. I see something that interests me, music related, and I put it on our, an article, and I put it on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
First, we could talk about a bunch of new music that's been released. There's been a lot of new music released since last time
actually
we talked. All Time Low have announced a whole new album. It's called Wake Up Sunshine, and it's going to be released on April 3rd.
Okay.
And they've released a new single, and it's called Sleeping In. And I like it. It's cute.
Good.
I'm excited for a new album. I think it's fun. Of course. I love All Time Low and everything that they release.
Always,
they're
always
they
fun.
always do fun stuff.
Yeah.
Set It Off have released a new single called After Midnight. And I listened to it this morning, and honestly, I don't remember it super well. But it was Set It Off. It was a jam.
Oh yeah, they've released something and they've been tweeting about it nonstop, but I haven't listened to it.
It might have been After Midnight.
No, there's
been a few singles recently.
Yeah. They seem really pumped about this one.
Yeah.
It's called...
I heard a few new ones this morning, so I might have heard it.
1 Single Second.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember that one, and it's a bop.
The album cover's really pretty.
Oh yeah, the hourglass.
They that's really pretty.
I love their hourglass aesthetic.
Yeah. They use like a real hourglass instead of like a drawing or something.
Oh yeah.
Because like the hourglass right now is kind of the symbol. And
they're
took
symbol
it and went like realistic
yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Into it.
Yeah.
Set It Off. Always out there doing. And you know what it made me think of though? You haven't heard the newest Mariana's Trench album and the newest Emma Rosa album, right?
I think the only Mariana's Trench album or song that I know is the one that's really long, The Killing Kind.
Yes. So that's actually perfect because that's from their newest album. The whole thing is really good. The entire thing.
When did it come out?
I don't remember. It could have been earlier than last year, and I just discovered it last year. I didn't discover it more. I had a friend who recommended it to me. So it could have been last year, but it could have been before that.
Okay.
But it's very recent.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was hearing these new Set It Off songs, I was thinking that they would work really well touring with Mariana's Trench and Emma Rosa.
Oh, that's true. Is Emma Rosa still together?
Yes.
Oh.
They just sound significantly different now.
Oh,
but it goes well with what Set It Off and what Mariana's Trench are doing with their new sounds.
Oh,
I think.
Okay.
So
cool.
yeah, I like Emma Rosa's newest album. It's very different from, at least I think so, from their older stuff that made me fall for them. And when we saw them at Warped Tour,
I don't think I saw them at Warped Tour.
But it's still. Oh, I did.
Okay.
I saw them at Warped Tour. Yeah. And they were good. It was when the lead singer he wasn't feeling well, or his throat wasn't doing well, and so he didn't sing a whole lot. But there was a bunch of other singers from other bands that came.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, because a couple of them were Brandon and Savannah.
Yeah.
Came to help out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so
it was
cool.
fun. It was fun. It was a really good way to deal with that issue. 'Cause it
Yeah.
must suck when you're in the middle of Warped Tour and every single day you're doing a set and you're on the road and to have an issue like that and to have to figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
SWMRS and FIDLAR
Oh,
have
yeah.
collaborated to release the single People, which is a cover of the 1975 song. It's a newer song called People.
Yeah.
And I feel so dumb because I was on my phone and I was looking, through Instagram as one does. And they had posted on their story, SWMRS. I saw it from SWMRS.
Okay.
That they were releasing this single. It's a 45 and limited amount. And they're like, you can pre-order them now. And it was like just announced. I saw it as soon as it was announced. And they're like, yeah, there's a couple variants, and this is a single called People. It's a collaboration with FIDLAR. And I'm like, that's awesome. SWMRS and FIDLAR?
Yeah.
Yes, please. And I thought, oh, okay, later today, I'll think about it a little bit more, but I think I really want this. And I don't think it was super expensive. It's just a 45. And I'm like, yeah, I want to pre-order this, but I'll wait, later today when I'm on my laptop. And then a few hours later, I get back on my phone and I look, and they're like, oh, they're all sold out. And so now I'm sad. And there's going to be a limited amounts sold at their shows in their opening for Cage the Elephant in the UK, I think.
That's different.
Soon.
Okay.
Yeah. But just at those shows, that's it. They're not going to be any more on the internet or anything.
Man.
So now I'm like, oh man, if I want one, I got to really hunt for it, but that's okay. I heard the single anyway.
Yeah.
They released it on Spotify, so at least, it's not
I'm gonna have to listen
restricted
to
to a
that.
45.
Yeah.
So I got to hear it, and it's good. Weirdly enough, it almost brought tears to my eyes when I was listening to it. That's how good I thought it was.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Which is strange because it's very punk rock. You hear the
Mhm.
1975 and you're like, oh, they make mostly, very chill stuff. People is take everything you knew about the 1975 sound and throw it out the window. 'Cause People is...
Oh, that's the one.
Yes.
Okay.
It's very punk rock. It's very crazy. And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And so they did that. And when they announced the 45, I didn't even know that it was a cover of the 1975 song, and that made me even more sad actually when I discovered that.
Well, it's I think
because I love all three of those bands so much.
It's so new, and it
yeah. I didn't connect. Yeah. I didn't connect that People was was that People. But anyway, really good. Highly recommend. Check that out because, and I think it's really funny because the 1975 aren't normally that, they don't have that sound, that like punk rock sound, but SWMRS and FIDLAR do.
Yeah.
So it fit very well. It sounds
definitely.
like a song that they would write.
Yeah.
So it just worked really well. I'm not going to say it was better than the 1975 song, but it did sound like it belongs to SWMRS and FIDLAR.
Yeah.
Because it's
that makes sense though.
Yeah,
Since
just
it's not
because
generally what the 1975 do.
Yeah. And it's different but super good.
Yeah.
Speaking of the 1975, they just released a new single.
Whoa.
It's called The Birthday Party.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And, I like it. I like it a lot.
I haven't heard like anything they've been releasing.
Everything that they have been releasing recently, and to me they've kind of not always been like this, but more and more been, every single that they release is so different from the last one. Everything.
I need to just
every
listen to them
single
all.
song has its own individual weird, I don't know what to expect.
How many singles have they released now? They just keep releasing stuff. I can't keep track.
People.
Is this the third one?
I think it might be the third one.
So when's the album going to be released?
It is going to... I thought I had it written down here, and now I'm pausing. Notes on a Conditional Form.
Okay.
Is what it's called.
Yeah, okay.
And it's going to be released... I think it's soonish.
I mean, if they release the third single, then it's got to be released soon.
April 24th.
Oh.
So, soonish.
That's a bit far?
Well, I don't know. To me, I'm like, it's almost. March,
Yeah.
April. It's only a couple months away.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only a couple months.
Okay.
So yeah, Notes on Unconditional Form will be released on April 24th. I don't know if they'll be releasing any more singles before then, but they've already released a few. So, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really hyped about their sound so far. For this album, the birthday party is cool. The one before that was very belonged in like a John Hughes movie type of thing.
What? Yeah, I remember you talking about that last
Yeah.
time. What was it called?
Don't ask me that. I'm
Okay.
blanking. Me and You Together song. Oh, they've released 4. They've released the 1975, I guess. Oh, maybe that's the one with Greta speaking in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, okay.
People,
Okay.
Frail State of Mind, and Me and You Together song.
Okay.
And I know... Oh, and now the birthday party, so that's 5. That's 5.
Okay.
So you've got 5 songs from the new. And I remember that I do like all of them so far. And they're all very different from each other, I think. They all have very different vibes, and I'm really about that.
Nice.
Whatever they're doing, whatever they're experimenting on right now, I'm really about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a really different album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still the 1975.
Yeah.
I still get it. I still hear it. I still hear the sounds that they work with.
I mean,
and
it's still
stuff
the
like
same
that.
band, you know, like it's still Maddie.
Still the same
so.
4 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, super pumped about it. And then, oh, they are touring soon, but like nowhere around here.
Well, they are from England.
Well, I think it's a North
Like a
American
North
tour,
Amer-
but
I
not
see.
anywhere around here.
That
Yeah.
happens, yeah.
Yeah. King No One has released a new single, and it's called Not Willing to Sacrifice My Life. Number 1, of course, it's a bop. Number 2,
Oh, good.
I actually am having trouble liking it a lot.
Well, you don't have to like it a lot.
But it's because of only one thing. And it's this repeating line, not willing to sacrifice my life, is actually what it says.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like an edited voice. And it's repeated really fast. I think it's kind of meant to be part of the beat. In part of the song, it begins with it, and it comes up, like in the verse and stuff.
Yeah.
And that part, I wish they didn't do.
That's always been something that's
think
hard
it's-
for me to like.
I think it's kind of obnoxious, actually.
Yeah.
The whole rest of the song, if it didn't have that, I think it would be perfect. Of course, I think it's good because it's King No One.
Mm-hmm.
And everything, they have so much potential as a young band.
Yeah.
And I really think they're going to take off. But this specific song, I just wish they didn't do that.
Yeah.
The
There's-
one thing.
There's always there's got to be at least a few songs that are like that for me, that there's this one thing that
little
like
thing.
repeats in it, you
Yeah.
know, and I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
just wish just make that go away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
But the lyrics are good, the music, of course, all of that other stuff. It's just the one little thing that's gonna bother me. But
yeah.
you can't be happy with absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And then you put on here our last new music release that we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
You know how to pronounce this now?
I looked it up. I'm pretty sure it's Kvelertak.
Okay.
I could be saying that very American,
It's
but because they're
they're
Norwegian
okay.
metal band.
Yeah.
And I've talked about them before because I've recently gotten more into them, and it's very what's the type of metal called? They scream. They're screaming.
It's a core. It's
But
one of those cores, like deathcore,
they call themselves
metalcore.
metal.
Oh, okay.
It's like death metal or something.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
Yeah,
it's not a core.
like blood metal or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah,
no,
that makes sense.
it's a metal, and you could tell when you listen
It's
to
definitely. So which one did you put on here? Because just now you played a couple new singles right before we
it.
recorded
Yeah,
this.
so they released the album. It actually came out on
Oh,
Valentine's Day.
it's an album. Oh, good.
It came out on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
The album's called Split. And from just the singles that I've heard, so I listened to like the older stuff. It's very yelly, very,
Very. I describe it as like guttural.
yeah, I feel like if it was in English, I still wouldn't be
It's
able
very
to really
incoherent.
Yeah.
Because there's levels of the yelling and the screaming and the guttural.
Yeah,
that
there's
people
definitely
think of.
levels.
And
And they're not like peak, but
it gets to incoherent levels.
Yeah. But this, from those few singles, it's like more like I can understand what they're saying.
It's you
and plus
played
one of the songs was
one.
actually English.
Yeah, and I thought I liked it a lot actually.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm listening to them more, and I'm like, I love their unique sound. They have
you mentioned the
guitar.
guitar riffs.
I
the
love their
guitar's
guitar
really
riffs.
great. The one that you played sounded very reminiscent of a more old school metal.
Mm-hmm.
Which
It's
was
that
super
effect
cool.
that they use. I don't know what effect they use. You know, some distortion, but the specific mix they've got on their distortion I really like it, and the riffs that they play with it. It's just some chill. Well, it's not chill, but it's some good stuff.
Yeah, it's the opposite of chill.
Yeah,
but it's awesome.
I think with this album, from those singles I heard, they kind of toned down the yelling. You know, because like I said, you can kind of hear
coherent.
It. Yeah. So maybe if you want to get into them, maybe this would be a good starting album.
Well, it also depends on what you're into. You know, people could be way more into their older.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, if you want to get into this kind of thing, I feel like they're a good band.
Gateway
band.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is
what's happening to me.
Gateway
it's a
album.
Gateway, yeah.
If you're not super into the really hardcore stuff, this is their gateway album.
Yeah. Or this is your limit, because this is my limit.
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah,
I think
I'm not
really
super into that. I respect it as an art, and I think live it's awesome that like really what people call
live,
screamo, but that like pisses off actual like super hardcore metal people who do the screamo. Sorry, I call it screamo. I'm just gonna that's just how I classify it in my mind.
Yeah.
But the really guttural stuff, I guess you could say, the stuff where you can't understand the words, and it's just a little bit too much for my brain.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a little bit less like that. It's a little bit more palatable for my specific musical taste.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. I'm into. I want to listen to it actually. So
yeah, I listen to them on the way to work, so I think that's a good time to maybe put a few on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bus ride, music time.
Mm-hmm.
And then moving into news that is not necessarily music song related, as in, so no more new music. First, actually, I have a sad thing on here. Real Friends have parted ways with their frontman, Dan Lampton.
Yeah. Which is weird to me.
It is to me too, and you know, it actually makes me really sad, because Real Friends, if I really think about it, are one of the few. I've seen a lot of what I call my crappy pop punk bands live, and I'm talking like The Wonder Years, Neck Deep, The Story So Far, Basement. Who else am I thinking of? Real Friends, of course.
Yeah.
You know, bands like that. If you know, you know. If you're out there, you know.
Yeah.
Bands that call themselves pop punk, but to me, that's a weird term. Anyway, so I call it crappy pop punk.
Yeah.
But Real Friends qualifies in that. And they're one of the few I haven't seen live.
Oh.
Yeah.
They didn't come to Warped Tour?
No.
Oh.
At least I didn't. Yeah.
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 Wow. Yeah, about that pop punk thing real quick, because it made me think. Because I thought about that. I'm like, why pop punk? They're not even pop punk.
Right?
It always confused me.
When people classify bands like Green Day and Fall Out Boy and Blink-182 as pop punk, on one hand, I get it, because it's like the punk roots and kind of like a little bit, especially for Green Day specifically, like punk ideals, but it boosted up into the mainstream and therefore is popular. So that's kind of how I make sense of that.
Well, because also those bands and these bands and stuff, because punk by definition is political, and these bands aren't really political. Their lyrics are more pop related. Yeah. So I think that's why they call it that. It's like heavier pop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rooted,
a lot of it
rooted from punk, but the lyrics are more
like, in all brutal honesty, it's all, if not mostly, just like sad white boys whining about mostly relationship
that's
stuff.
Kind of punk too, but
well,
I get what you're
I mean?
saying.
Like, that's kind of what makes pop punk a lot of pop punk is, one, don't have too much vocal talent. You can't really sing very well. It's a lot of like yelly.
They're just choosing to do that. I think that's still sort of a talent. I don't know. I'm just such a quiet person.
But you get what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean.
And so it's a lot of yelly, like whiny young men. I'm talking about music that I love, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I'm just thinking of Blink-182 the whole time. Like, yeah, you're right, but I freaking love Blink-182 for some reason.
And you know, Real Friends and Neck Deep was more this, but Neck Deep I think actually moved even as they started sounding a little bit poppier. They got more. They have some sort of, like you mentioned, political content.
Oh yeah, stuff. And those bands do like Green Day's definitely written political stuff.
It's not strictly part of what might make it pop is the lyrical content. Mm-hmm. It's not strictly that. It's not strictly about relationship sadness and
but these bands that you are talking about, this newer pop punk genre, the crappy pop punk.
Yes, what I classify
is like
as that,
it's like more emo influenced.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like emo mixed with pop punk.
Yeah.
And you get crappy pop punk.
Yeah, exactly. Older Brand New counts as crappy pop punk.
What do I know by Brand New?
What do you mean?
I can't think of a single song by Brand New. Real Friends, sorry, not Brand New.
Oh,
Real
I was
Friends.
like, you know almost every song by Brand New, I'm sure, because we both do. Real Friends.
I don't know why I said Brand New.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
I think we're talking about
just
new.
a little, yeah.
And then, anyway, Real Friends.
Real Friends, what's my favorite song? But I could think of the album cover for some reason.
Yeah, me too.
But I can't think of the name of the song.
Something about...
I can sing it in my head. I'm not going to sing it out loud. But I can sing it in my head. I've given up on you.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
They do. I've given up on you.
That's the only one I know.
Oh, okay. They also do a song called Skin Deep from the same album that I really like.
Yeah, definitely emo. It just makes me sad thinking about it.
See? Yeah. Colder, Quicker. Yeah. So a lot of songs that I like. And I'm really sad that I didn't get to see them live. And now but it doesn't seem to be on bad terms. They said it's a mutual decision, and Real Friends apparently will continue to make music, but to me I'm like, I don't know, this is just one of those instances where it seems wrong. The vocalist is just so, important to the sound to me, and it just seems a little wrong. Mm-hmm.
He's the one with like the big smile.
Yes,
right?
I was just gonna say he's the one who has a really, really awesome smile. Any picture of Dan, like look up Dan Lampton smiling, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has an awesome smile.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I guess he's gonna continue making music with another band that he's in, which I didn't know he was in another band.
Yeah,
called Rationale. I actually did not know that.
Yeah.
And so just a tiny bit of sad news for the day.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah.
I feel like it's an Adam Gontier situation. He's like, you know what, my project with this band is done.
Yeah. Well, all they said is that it was a mutual decision. They didn't say neither the band and him both wrote separate things out on it, and neither one of them said anything about it being any kind of issue. But it was also very vague. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It could have been creative differences. It could have, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
In more positive news, Palais Royale are on the cover of Alternative Press for the second time.
Nice.
Super cool for them.
I listened to that song they did with Kellen Quinn.
Oh,
today.
Mashiri.
Yeah. And I was thinking, how
Very
did
cute.
they... That was their first album, right?
Yes.
And I was like, how on their first album did they get somebody like Kellen Quinn?
I think about that sometimes. I think they're buddies with him. I think.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I'm not. I feel
like when you're really famous and you're putting stuff on the radio, when you can feature somebody else, you have to be big to have that big feature. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
Or you're getting a lesser feature on
because Sleeping with Sirens, Kellen Quinn is way bigger than Palais
way
Royale.
Bigger.
Yeah.
So, but in that
especially when they recorded that song.
Yeah, and in that kind of genre, I feel like it's more welcome to just get whoever you want featured.
Oh, yeah.
If they're more popular than you. Like bands that are popular aren't afraid to be featured on albums.
Yeah, and also it's Sleeping with Sirens is popular, but it's not like they're top in the charts popular.
Exactly.
In the alternative world of music,
you just support who you think's good.
Yeah. There's only so popular you get when you play that kind of music, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So so I feel like there's
more space to experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, and they're on the cover of Alternative Press. And of course I want to buy it, so we'll see. We'll see how soon I do that. I think it looks super cool, the photo shoot that they did.
Oh, good.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I like their new look.
I'm excited to read about whatever interview they did.
That reminds me, I don't remember who I was talking to. It's somebody at work, and we were relating on our big stack of Alternative Press magazines that...
What?
Yeah.
What? Someone you work with?
Yeah, I think it was at Intercom. But it was really funny.
That's so funny.
I'm not going to shout them out on the radio, but
sure.
I'll tell you later.
On the radio.
But on the radio, I forgot I'm not on the radio anymore. I was just at a radio station, so I'll blame it on that. But yeah, we were like, yeah, I remember those days. Go to Warped Tour, get the discount on like the whole year Alternative Press subscription.
For, like,
so we had
really
like stacks.
Deal. Yeah, I mean, I still do.
I know, right?
But it's not
right? She was all like, yeah, I used to. I'm like, I still have them. I didn't get rid of those.
That is my entire life. Is other people being like, yeah, I used to listen to this. I used to have this. And me being like, I still do.
Why
Emo
move on?
forever.
There's no reason. Yeah. I still enjoy this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you know what? That's probably the biggest reason that I'm not still subscribed to Alternative Press. 2 reasons. 3 reasons. One, Warped Tour's not a thing anymore, so there's not that super easy, sign up for a discounted price. 2, I have so many, and at a certain point, it's like, where am I going to put these?
Yeah. Yep.
And 3, they didn't hire me, so
oh gosh. I think the only reason why I don't have them why I don't get them anymore is because I don't go to Warped Tour and get that subscription thing. Because that's like the only reason why I had it is because I have this, I'm going to get Alternative Press. Yeah. Just for fun, So I'm not going to like go
Just another reason why Warped Tour, we miss it.
Yeah.
Bad idea to let it go.
Yep.
Speaking of crappy pop punk bands, Neck Deep has announced a new member of their band and released an app.
I saw that about the new members. So he said something about he's been touring with them.
So Seb Barlow is the brother of the frontman, Ben.
Oh.
And what I read is that now he's official member of Neck Deep. He's worked with them since the beginning, being Ben's brother. He's probably just always been there.
Yeah.
He's done producing, he's done mixing, he's done songwriting, he's done just everything.
So what does he do?
You know what? I'm not. I think. Because it didn't say anything about, he plays guitar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
he's just part of the band now.
That's what I think. I think he's just done so much behind the scenes.
He's like an honorary member.
Like he's not on stage, but he's he's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Which I totally get that. I respect that. If he's gonna be so involved in all the processes, why not
he's
say
just a hype man that he gets to run around on stage.
But honestly, I'm not sure if he's gonna be on stage playing an instrument. It didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
But you never know. I don't know.
Wow.
But also they have this app, and I did get the app today.
Okay.
And it's basically just you sign up, you put in your email. And I think it's basically just a website, like a Neck Deep website. It's got merch, it's got like a fan wall, it's got news, stuff like that. But it's a little bit more exclusive, and it's a little bit more, just a little bit more like a community, I think.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool if bands that they made their own app. It's almost like having your own Discord. You know what I mean?
A little bit.
Like
I don't know
all
if
the fans can join and talk and
and
look at
I don't know
Neck
if
Deep
it has
updates
like a
chat.
A chat. Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's a cool idea though.
Yeah, I haven't experimented too much with it. I only looked at it a little bit. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm intrigued, and I'm excited to see what happens next, because no new music or anything, just this app and stuff, and they kind of did a little rebranding on design. They've got like a little orange thing going on now, so yeah. So we'll see. Yeah.
Interesting.
But love them.
Yeah. They're good.
Yeah. And then the last big thing I have written in music news is Talinda Bennington, who's the wife of the late Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, and Kevin Lyman, who was the founder and organizer of Warped Tour, are starting the 320 Project, which is a non-profit dedicated to addressing mental health problems.
Good. I will say, I think we need to address mental health problems. I saw a guy on the bus trying to harness energy from a battery yesterday. And I'm like, why is this guy getting help?
I was just thinking, actually, today, that I've talked to so many people who realize it. I know that people out there know that we need more institutions that help people who are mentally not able to function in society like they could be able to.
Mm-hmm. Like, I just watched the movie Sling Blade.
Yeah,
he was in a place where are those places where they put people that, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
and
I don't
instead
even know where or if they exist.
Yeah, and instead now we are sending these people to prisons
or letting them live on the street.
Yeah, exactly. And
they can't function for themselves.
So I was thinking of this, and I'm like, why? There's so many people out there with so much money. Is someone trying to do something and I just don't realize it because it's not in the news? There has to be someone out there with some sort of political or monetary significance that realizes this issue, right?
Yeah.
It just seems like there's so many issues being highlighted.
Yeah. You think that things are being ignored, but it's probably not. You just don't hear about it.
Yeah, you
know?
just don't. Yeah. Someone needs
so
to
much
boost.
going on.
Someone needs to hyper boost something.
I know.
I'm sure someone out there is trying to start, an institution or to start an organization or to, I don't know, tax something so they could build something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people keep proposing all these tax laws. Propose the law that's going to help, build institutions, not correctional institution as in prison, but helpful institution as in, helping these people who obviously are having issues making it on their own, issues that are too big to solve just that easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, I could go off, but we just got off topic for a second.
Yes. back a little bit.
Yes.
We were talking about the 320 Project, which is a nonprofit dedicated to addressing mental health problems. The first big thing that they're doing is something called 320 Conversations, and it's going to be a roundtable discussion hosted by comedian Ken. I don't know how to pronounce this last name. Jong.
That's an English way.
It's not. It's not English though.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he's an actor comedian, and it's going to be moderated by Kevin Lyman. The panel participants are going to include Justin Furstenfield, who's the frontman of Blue October.
I know nothing about him, but I love that song by Blue October.
Yeah, Justin's told me a little bit about him because he knows a lot, because his music is very...
Because they have the same first name?
Wow. I just realized that. I wonder if... I don't even know if my Justin knows. Maybe he does.
Probably.
Because this guy, he knows the entire story of this guy and his music and his album and everything. Because we listened to it in the truck once. I had to ask him to change it because it was so depressing.
Yeah.
But because it's very sad, because this man has had a very sad life.
Okay,
and
that's
he writes
the guy.
about it.
I've heard him talk about it.
Yeah, and he writes about it all in his music. So
Okay.
he's going to be on the panel. I believe he's also going to do a little performance.
Oh.
Morgan Freed, who's the co-founder and director of Emo Night LA.
Nice.
Tiffany Jenkins, who's from Juggling the Jenkins. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is.
No.
Jason Docton, who's the CEO of Rise Above the Disorder. And Aaron Rafferty Ryan, who's the executive director of the Los Angeles chapter of the National Alliance on Mental Illness.
Whoa. Rise Above the Disorder, does it have anything to do with Seether? I
Doesn't
don't
Seether
think
have
so.
a different...
But Seether does
they have
something.
Yeah. So there's going to be all these people on this panel. That's all I really know about it, though, and I do know that this is the first thing 320 Project is doing. I do know that they have more plans in the future, but I don't know yet.
Do you know when this is happening?
I don't, but it's going to be in LA.
This is like the kickoff event, kind of?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And I know that Talinda Bennington has been, last year, I think even, she started doing some other things related to this.
I bet.
And she's
probably been a really big advocate on mental health.
She's been, she started, which I think is part of 360 Project, it's something that has to do with, basically educating people who aren't necessarily, I don't even know how to describe it. Like people who don't have depression or major mental health issues. Basically education for those people
Mm-hmm.
about what it's like and about how to help people who do have like major mental health issues.
Because that's a big thing, is people that don't have them just don't understand.
Yeah.
Because then there's no way they're going to fully understand because they don't, they don't have that problem.
Yeah, it's not how their brain
and that's
works.
fine.
So, yeah.
I wish that I could meet more people like that.
That are what they call neurodivergent. Yeah. Or no, they call it neurotypical.
Yeah.
Neurotypical. That's what
and
that
that
they
are
call
confident in it, but are also willing to learn and understand.
Yeah.
I need to meet more neurotypical people.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody wants to have some sort of problem.
Yeah.
And wants to be unique, and it's like, no, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You can be fine. You can be okay. You can be mentally stable.
Yeah. And also, I feel like it's important for everyone to realize that mental stability is, I'm not going to say it's a myth, but no one is perfect.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's going to get nervous. Everyone's going to get sad.
And that's normal.
And it doesn't necessarily mean, of course there's a line,
mm-hmm.
but it doesn't necessarily mean you have like a major mental issue.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a whole thing. I don't know. I'm not a professional.
I know. And
I don't
just
even know
thinking about
how my
how,
brain works. I don't
everybody's
know
like,
on.
oh, you have OCD. It's like, no.
Oh, OCD is the biggest thing.
It's
I hear it
biggest.
so much.
And I knew I didn't have it. But I didn't really know what it was until I heard people talk about it who actually have OCD, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's actually different than I thought it was.
Yeah, OCD is not what people think it is. It's
Yeah.
not wanting all of your towels to be stacked perfectly or you're going to scream. Like,
because
that's not...
But somebody I work with says they have OCD, and it's like, no, you just like things to be organized.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like me. And she's like, oh, you have OCD too? I'm like, no, I'm just a perfectionist.
Yeah.
I just...
Yeah. There's a difference here.
Yeah.
And same thing with ADHD.
Same thing with anxiety, actually. I have anxiety, and I still didn't fully understand what it was until recently.
Yeah.
So.
But big ADHD and OCD are the two big things that I hear people overuse a lot who have no idea how it actually works.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
anyway, I don't mean to
yeah, we keep getting
judge
way
people.
too digressive and anyway, do you have, Nicole, anything to add that's mayhaps more positive and lighthearted to round this off?
Like my experience yesterday? Are you talking about Lovefest?
Yeah, you wrote that on here. Go ahead, text. It's cool and music related.
Yeah,
and awesome.
I want to talk about local music.
Yeah.
It was really fun. So I'm an intern at All Classical Portland, which is a local radio station that broadcasts classical music. And they hosted this event yesterday, which is not yesterday, the day this podcast comes out. It was Wednesday anyway.
Yeah.
But I got to be an assistant backstage manager, which I've never done before. I mean, I've kind of managed some stuff, whatever, but this was a new experience. It was a low-key job. It sounds kind of serious being a stage manager, but for me it wasn't too bad. I basically stood I helped check people in, performers. There were, I'm going to try to remember, there was about 10 performers yesterday. Probably more than that. There was 6 before intermission and 6 after intermission or something. And it was various things. So Lovefest was a celebration of love and art and stuff like that. It was just a cool performance that I recommend everybody goes to next year because it's just a bunch of different stuff. It's all local, right? Yes, all local musicians, all professionals, really amazing people. There was singers, there was a accordion player, there were
dancers,
violins.
There was
dancers.
Yeah.
So I got to watch that one. I only got to watch 2 performances, but they were amazing. So one of the performances I watched, because I stood beside the stage and the door was closed. So, and then the door to a dressing room, to a hallway, and to the main stage was connected to this room I was in, and they were all closed while the performance was going on. And so performers would wait in that room and then go out on the stage, And it was only lit by dim blue lights. Because, they're going on the stage. It's got to be dark. It can't be bright. So I had to, sit in this room for a while. And there's, a speaker in the room playing what's playing on stage, so I know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
So I just, sat in this room in the dark. Which was
Faintly
interesting.
Hearing music playing in the background.
In, a can speaker. But I still got to hear it. You can still tell the music was excellent.
Yeah.
But the one I watched, I'm so glad I got to watch. I stepped onto the side of the stage to watch it. And it was an accordion player who was the best accordion player I've ever seen. He was just going crazy. And a harmonica player who was also the harmonica. It's a silly instrument.
No, because I'm sure it was the same guy who played harmonica.
Oh, I'm sure.
When I was an intern at All
How
Classical.
many professional harmonica players are there in Portland?
Yeah.
Did
he have... Was it slightly bigger than a normal harmonica?
I didn't really see his harmonica.
Because I didn't even really realize at first when he played.
Yeah.
It wasn't until afterward
when
when Krista was interviewing him and he pulled a normal size harmonica out of his pocket. He's pulling harmonicas out everywhere. He just
They're portable.
Yeah. And that was one of the jokes he made is it's the most portable instrument.
Oh,
you can stick it anywhere and even more than a flute, anything. You could just take it anywhere. And I didn't even realize he was playing larger than normal harmonica. There's different kinds. Different scales or whatever. Yeah. So
but the thing with harmonica is you breathe out, there's notes. You breathe in, there's a different note.
Yeah.
It's scaled from left to right, Yeah. So when you're playing, I don't know.
Jumping around.
It's one of those things like a trombone. How do you decide what note?
Yeah,
because you're sliding. It's
as flute players, we understand the keys,
many
keys to do different things.
And this is just nuts. And he's super good, going crazy. These were the funnest people that were there. They're just going nuts. And but they were playing Mexican or Spanish music. Which I guess could be Mexican, but I think this was specifically Spanish. And there were two tango dancers, a guy and a girl partnered to dance, and they were improvising.
I can't imagine that.
It was nuts.
How do you
not
feet work? Fall all over
right?
each other?
And they're in front of the stage, close to the the end of the stage. And so Matt turns to me, he's like, "Oh, I get so nervous when they get to close to the front of the stage." I know. Yeah. But in my mind I'm like, "Nah, they're good."
No, they're professionals.
Because I took those little dance classes.
Oh yeah.
To
Which
learn
by
how
the
to
way forgot everything.
Really? I still remember how to foxtrot.
Oh.
But
good.
Yeah. But just doing that, I learned that the guy leads and the woman follows. That's generally a rule with dancing.
Yeah.
And so seeing this, it was so interesting because they've had practice.
Mm-hmm.
Because this guy knows what he's doing, and it's as difficult as the woman to follow what he wants you to do. You have to be able to read him
in a split
perfectly
second.
by the movements of the body and everything to know what to do. So they're not, and their feet. Because they're holding each other. Yeah. They're close. She's hanging on to him. And their feet are right next to each other. And they're not stepping on each other's feet.
That's so insane.
And she's just throwing them around. And they're kicking their legs in between each other's legs and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is nuts. I was smiling the whole time. Because
it's like a fight, but you don't actually make
contact. It's so cool seeing dancing.
Anti-fight.
Oh my gosh. Because I don't think I've ever seen dancing like that live, I realized. Good professional dancing.
Yeah, definitely.
Two people together, so synchronized.
Yeah. Is
amazing. And then you've got this accordion player and this harmonica player going off too, and it's man, damn, this is good shit. So yeah, that was my favorite performance there. There was also a piano player who was really good.
I love piano.
Yeah,
I absolutely
I'm realizing
love solo
because
piano.
Today I also saw at Thursdays at 3 a really good piano player, and he was one reason why I loved him was because he got really he was rocking out
really into it.
Yeah, I love that. But just seeing these musicians lately, they're just so into music. and they just
and
love
good.
it and
And
good
so good.
and having a lot of fun. It's really inspirational.
Yeah.
It makes me really want to get back into it if I ever get it. Because by the way, I haven't had a day off in almost 2 weeks. So last podcast, I haven't had a day off since then.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just one reason why I haven't played music lately, but yeah, it's just I'm really enjoying being around all this good music and musicianship lately. It's really inspirational
it
and
is
really
very
fun.
Yeah.
Cuz I just enjoy it. Like
and we just got to start again, you know? I mean, not that we've stopped. I don't think we've stopped. I don't feel like I've gotten to the point where I could say I've stopped playing music.
Yeah. And I don't. So you know Danny from Game Grumps. I know it's weird I'm bringing this up, but
y'all,
I don't know if
y'all
anybody
out there
does.
know Danny from Game
No,
Grumps.
and you don't have to.
We are fans.
But I'm gonna say that he said once in I don't remember when or why or anything, but and this really helped me too because I was so down on myself. I'm like I'm not playing the guitar every day and I should. I'm not even playing it like every week like I should. Because I enjoy it. So I'm not just saying, "Oh, I need to play this."
Right?
But it's like cuz I enjoy it and
I pick it up again and I'm like, why don't I play this every day? I love this so much. This makes me so happy.
And every time I don't, I like beat myself up about it and everything. But then somebody reminded me that Danny was like, okay, something to help is that you don't have to do it every day, but make it a goal to do something related to it. So it's like, okay, maybe you didn't play guitar today, but take a few minutes out of your day to think about it. And the fact that you thought about it is still a step,
in the right direction.
In the right direction.
A step towards doing it.
Yeah. So you can think about you can, I don't know, write something down or talk about it or research something related to it, to this whatever you're into. Like doesn't have to be playing
I feel
an
like
instrument.
as long as eventually it leads to to actually playing it.
And getting yourself to do something related to this thing that you want to do every day motivates you more to actually do it.
I think that
because
makes
you've
a lot of
learned
sense.
more. Yeah, and I was like, wow, that really helps. Because then I'm not just constantly beating myself up about not doing this activity.
Yeah.
Because every day I'm making sure to do something related to this activity. And I'm thinking about it. So the more you think about it, the more it's going to be relevant and the closer you're going to get to actually doing it. And I know I'm kind of missing some things right here. And I could be a lot more inspirational right now. But
I think it makes sense.
It really helped me.
Yeah.
Because, that it's the main thing. I'm not constantly beating myself up about it. Because I'm making an effort.
Yeah.
So as long as you're making an effort.
Yeah. And I know we keep saying it. We keep saying everyone just keep your ears open because we'll be out there. We keep saying it, but it's still true. We keep saying it because it's still true.
Yeah, it's still true.
It's still gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm looking at both of my sister's guitars right now, so it's not like they're packed away in a box.
No, I put them both out so they're easier to just pick up.
Yeah.
I'm so busy lately and I'm lazy, quite frankly. I can't deny it.
Right.
But since they're both sitting here, it's like, well, I don't have an excuse.
Yeah, you
I could just pick it up. Might have to tune it.
Yeah.
But that's not hard. So, yeah. And also another thing that motivated me is think of your friends and family and think oh, when's their birthday? Oh, this holiday's coming up. And make it a goal to have something done by that holiday. For Valentine's Day, I made sure I completed a drawing for my friend for Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
I need to make art, I need to write music, I need to do something. Okay, I'll do this for somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's always good to do it for yourself, but that's just a goal.
I know, I think that's a really good way to for this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I have to draw the thumbnail for this podcast.
Yeah.
So that every 2 weeks I have to draw something.
Yeah.
And even writing the script for this podcast, every 2 weeks I have to write something.
Yeah.
So it exercises in some way these things that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, always find an excuse to do something you like.
Yeah, exactly. Even if because that's just, I feel how it works in my brain. I know we're dragging this out. I promise we're almost done.
It's music related, so I didn't feel bad.
Yeah.
And inspirational.
And right? We're going to end this on a high note.
Yeah.
And in my brain, because I've grown up thinking that art is, like when I would do homework, I would have to do the art assignments last. One, because it took me a long time, because I've always been a perfectionist when it came to my art. If I got to draw something for a class, I was so excited, but it also took me forever because it had to be perfect.
Yeah.
And two, well, I feel like that's just the one big reason. I feel like that's kind of all the reasons put together, is it just took me so long. It was like the fun homework assignment, so I got to save it until last.
Yeah.
But now,
well, and I could gauge easier how long it was going to take me. So I'm like, I got to get this other stuff done first, just in case. Yeah. And then,
Yeah. And then, but then that kind of led to me growing up thinking that where was I? Hold on. There's a shiny thing on the floor and it's distracting me.
There is?
Yes, there's like a glitter piece on the floor.
Well, I should vacuum.
But now I feel like that's kind of led to me having a mindset almost like I can't do the art until I get everything else done. Kind of.
I see.
Yeah. I feel like that's not the point I was trying to make. Maybe you should just cut all this out.
Well, I'm not.
But somehow it's but somehow I feel like that's connected to me, or maybe it's like I won't do art unless it's perfect type of thing.
Yeah. Which is also a thing I was told. Just create something.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's perfect. It doesn't matter even if it's finished.
Yeah, because that's the thing with me is, like, I always drew, like, hearts and made them 3D. Or always drew shapes and made them, like, 3D. Or I made them dripping with slime or something. And I'm like, so every time I sat down to draw, I'm like, I want to do something different. I always do the same thing. And then I sit there and I think about it, I don't know what to draw, and I quit. So it's like, nah, draw it.
Yeah,
it came
even
to
if
your
you do
mind,
the same
sketch
thing
it.
over,
Yeah. And I did that. And I'm like, wow, it felt good to make that, to just sketch that. And do whatever. It's like you don't have to have something great every time, or you have to create something cool and new every time. You can just do whatever you like.
Yeah.
Quit putting pressure on yourself. Just do whatever you want. I'm just going nuts over here.
Exactly. That's the art. Yeah, rave about it. That's the artist thing. There's so much. I feel like it's a very natural, like, capitalism and all that dumb stuff is all like a human created concept. It's relatively new. It's not something that, it's not like natural.
Yeah.
No other species has capitalism. But art is like something that I feel like people have been doing before like anything else existed.
Yeah.
And it's very natural to sing and dance. It's very natural to paint things, with mud. You don't have to have paint.
Nice.
It's very natural to build things with sticks and rocks. So, it's just to like do art is a very, very natural thing, I think. And then now I feel like a lot because of capitalism, it's almost like we put monetary value on art, and then we tell people not to sing if they're not good, and not to paint if they're not good, because people like don't want to hear to look at it. But I feel like even if you're not good, it doesn't matter. It's a very like natural thing, and we put so much pressure on like telling people not to create art unless it's good, like not to create it unless you can put like a value on it. And it's like, no, man, it's just do it because it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Like that's
and
the
one
only
thing that my mom told me a long time ago that also really helps me is that she said there's always going to be somebody, I'm pretty sure it's my mom that said this, but she's like, there's always going to be somebody better than you.
Oh yeah. I mean,
and I'm
that's
like,
a
wow,
thing.
you're right.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about trying to be which is I was really young when I thought this, but it still helps now because, like, for example, today I saw a guitar player, and he was sitting there playing on stage, and he's young. And I'm like, damn, this kid's good. And it just made me feel really bad again for not playing the guitar.
That's why I never like watching America's Got Talent.
Right? But
made me feel like I
then,
had no talent.
but then I learned his story and everything, and apparently he was voted like this last year Europe's like best classical guitar player. Like he was voted like all of Europe the best classical guitar player. And I'm like, okay, now I feel less bad because he's like literally the best. So of course I'm gonna feel like insignificant.
Yeah, but also,
and see, that's the thing. You don't have to be the best.
Yeah,
you just have to enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I realize it's not my goal to be the best. It's just my goal to be good enough to be able to play what I want to play. And that's not close to the best. I mean, it'd be cool, but no. And I told my supervisor that. I'm like, yeah, at first I was like discouraged, but then I'm like, you know what? It's actually like inspirational to see somebody who can play like that, and seeing what he plays and watching him play, because that was wild. Like watching his fingers, and it just made me think about it, and it made me want to play again because I felt inspired to like try stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And she's like, wow, that's a really good way to think.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, and it's kind of part of the whole, my huge belief in, because I am very bad, even though I do believe my belief very strongly, I'm really, really bad at comparing myself to other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a big, motto that I try to follow, which is to work to be better than yourself.
Yeah.
Don't compare, don't be like, oh, I want to be better than that person, I want to be as good as that person. Be like, oh, I want to be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
Or, I want to keep practicing so I'm better than I was. And
that's the thing. You have to be thinking about yourself this whole time instead of thinking about, oh, I want to be good enough to do this for these people with these people. And it's like you have to remember why you're doing, like if it's playing an instrument, you have to remember why you're playing this instrument. And
because it's fun,
focus
dude.
on yourself. Yeah, exactly. Because if you really enjoy this, you're gonna get good. That's the thing. If you enjoy it and you practice, you're gonna get good. You just have to practice.
Yeah, and sometimes it takes longer than other people, and that's fine too.
Absolutely. Yeah. But
okay, have we been inspirational enough now? Can I go to sleep? I've worn myself out.
Oh, it is like 9:00 now.
Oh, you're time stamping it.
What?
That's
okay. It's okay. That's fine.
Anyway, thank you all so much for listening. If y'all want to comment, absolutely obliterate that comment section.
Please. We've only gotten like one comment.
Yeah.
And
they're there for, if you hear something, if you hear me, we say stuff all the time that one, we might not even know that much about. Two, is an opinion. If you have different opinions or anything, or if you have questions, or if you think, similar things, or if there's music you want us to hear, or,
yes, please.
like we do this partly to be part of a conversation.
Yeah.
So if you hear something and you want to comment on it, like, do that.
Yeah.
That's what it's meant to be.
Just don't be mean.
I mean, yeah, don't do that, because I'll cry.
But just don't be mean.
I will cry if you're mean. I will do it.
I won't cry. I'll just be like, dude, what the hell?
I'll probably cry because I'm sensitive. Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you all so much for listening.
I'm gonna say, in the comments, tell us some inspirational stuff. Give us some more motivation. Like, what do you do when you forget why you love doing what you do, and then, you know what I mean? Like, if you are an artist and you just feel like you're dragging yourself to do art, and then, like, what do you do to be like, oh,
or
I
anything,
love this, I need to take a break, or how
any
you sort of get back
that
into
you
it.
Have,
yeah.
If it kind of,
motivate me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And with that, thank you again. I'm Melissa.
I'm Nicole.
And this is Twin Skeletons. Thank you so much for listening.